Well, your generals don't retire out the army because they 60. They still wear their stripes. LA gang culture is not for everybody to understand. I'm not even trying to explain it to you. I grew up in it. It is what it is, and that's what it is. It's even my mama still to this day. She from Hoover Crib. Yeah. Still to this day, she's not. But mom and pops from different hoods. Yeah, my dad is from Nutty Block. My mama's from Hoover. And my mama ain't going to Hoover putting on the Houston hat. Like, what's up? Right. He was Hoover shit.
This message is for this 46-year-old loser of the game who's had every opportunity in the world to separate himself from that lifestyle and inspire other young black men to do the same. You at 46 years old are on this internet still representing a fucking gang. Your gangs, y'all's culture hasn't done shit for our people except oppress us as much as the so-called white supremacists that a lot of us complain about. You guys are a blight on our race. Especially people like you. I can at least understand from the people that come from the places that have never had the opportunity to come out of there, but your stupid ass have been famous for as long as I've been an adult. I wish nothing but the worst on you, you piece of shit. I hate you and people like you, Snoop, all you guys that represent that culture more than I hate any neo-Nazi that gets up here and try to represent their race. Because you guys are doing it for fucking profit and throwing our young people. You even mentioned the goddamn Astro hat. A young black boy, 19 years old, was killed for wearing an Astro hat in y'all stupid fucking neighborhoods just a couple weeks ago. And your dumb ass gets up here and say, oh, you know not to wear. Fuck you. And everybody that looks like you. I hope the worst for you. And everybody that's platformed you, your music has never been good, you piece of shit. You've only been good when you were featured on somebody else's song. You're garbage. You get out here and you have to use the gang culture to even platform yourself because nobody gives a fuck about a game song. When has anybody ever said, hey, let's put that game on? Never. Loser. You're a fucking loser. You and everybody that represents, everybody that's getting paid by these fucking Jews to push this goddamn lifestyle on the young black men in this country, fuck you.
Well, the generals don't.
And as you could clearly see, that man has every right to feel the way he feels, and he's completely correct. That's why we don't give two shits about you goddamn two-third ass niggas. Y'all nothing but pieces of shits. First, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahushai, Ba'Hashem, Rakakadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Salutation to all the brothers and the few sisters out there. Unto those like foreigners from the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Shalom in the Hebrew, which means peace. And this man has every right to feel the way he feels, and he's completely. That's how we feel. When we see a nigga, we can't stand that nigga. All right, and we would say with the ER because at the end of the day, you are the biggest threat to your own fucking people, and you're doing it. Now, I don't even say you're not even doing it for money. Y'all just doing it for power that you don't have to go around terrorizing your own fucking people. And that's black culture. All right, that's gangster culture that everybody loves so much. They love so dearly. And this is what happens when you love something like that. And he has every right to feel the way he feels. That's the most dumbest, ignorant shit any man could actually say. Him, Jim Jones, a couple of old fucking niggas. Hey, that's why Ezekiel 9:4 says what it says. Kill utterly old and young. All right? You got old niggas, they ain't worth shit. Like, what's this guy that's in trial right now? Keefe D. He's a piece of shit ass nigga. We're both sitting there bragging about how he had a hand in killing Tupac and all this other shit. Both sitting there bragging about it, like, yeah, we did it. Like, yo, and he thought he had the immunity because he made a deal with somebody, and the devil flipped out on him. You niggas are the fucking worst, yo. Doesn't matter, the East Coast, West Coast, whatever. You speak Spanish, you speak French, you speak Creole, whatever, yo. Y'all the sack of shit. That's why the Lord's gonna get rid of 2/3 of the nation of Israel, flat out. There's nothing good about you. No good at all. You know? Nothing good about you guys at all, yo. And Jake, he's in the right spirit, yo. And a lot of Jake is gonna be in the right spirit. A lot of y'all is gonna be in the spirit of, you know what? There ain't that many good. Ain't no nothing good about this shit. All right. That's how people are gonna start feeling. Yeah, it's crazy, man. Growing up in that era, and it's seeing like how people wanted to be degenerates. I remember growing up and I had a cousin, older cousin, asked him a question. You know, you young, everybody has inspiration. Ask a nigga, yo, what you wanna be when you get older? Not when you grow up, you know, when you wanna get older. Nigga said, I wanna be a gangster. Like, what the fuck? It was different back then, but like, what the fuck? This is how the level that your thought process, and we grew up in the hood, and this is what you want to become. What do you do with something like that? You can't rehabilitate that, you know. But that's how majority of our people think. And then as like you get older and you start listening to people, observing people, and what they attracted to, what the women attracted to, it's like, yo, Jake is nothing but fucking degenerates, yo. They just love to be degenerates in the degenerate culture. Degeneracy is the culture. So rightfully so, he's in the right spirit. Rightfully so, he sees what we've been seeing. Rightfully so, the outcome, when it does happen, is going to be rightfully done. And that outcome is 2/3 of you motherfuckers are going to die. Men, women, children. You got, yo, this nigga just said, I always reference this damn movie, but because it's ill, that scene was just powerful. And that's CB4 and Charlie Murphy got Chris Tucker. Damn, what's his guy's name? Chris Rock. Chris Rock was supposed to be the gangster rapper, this, that, to the third. He took his name. The nigga was in jail. He came back like, yo, man, you think this is a fucking game? Said, I come from 3 generations of gangsterism. And that shit was fucking funny back then, and it's still funny now. Like they take a niggas take pride in being a degenerate, being the worst of the worst. You know, like there's a Jake, a young Jake. When we say Jake, we you know, bubbling everybody together. Because at the end of the day, you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, you are the biblical Israelites. Whether you want to accept it or not, and it doesn't fade, it doesn't change anything. I don't want to accept that. Well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you want to accept it or not. You fall into the category. All right. Now, if you call yourself by those names and you're doing the most dumbest niggerish shit, then you don't have the rights for those names. But overall, you are the Lord's people. So the young nigga said, I don't want to leave the. Is he something saying he don't want to leave the hood? Brother seen it. I can't remember how his the exact words. Something to the effect of he didn't want to leave the hood because you get paid for it. There's no reason to dream some crazy shit like that. And this is a young nigga. And it shows you like, yo, this shit is it's contagious, you know? But that's Israel for you. That's the mindset of our people. They've been on this state for forever, you know? And we just now seeing it. It could be dead ass serious, and these motherfuckers would still rep their madness, yo. Jeremiah 2:21, it says, "Yet I have planted thee a noble vine, a holy right seed." Yeah, because what? We are the Lord's chosen people. He planted us a right seed, a noble vine, meaning that He gave us the Lord's statutes and commandments. We knew right from wrong, how to do things. All right, how to do the right thing. This sellout culture, this culture, I mean, damn dog, like y'all make something that was beautiful in the beginning. And, you know, of course, the rats with the small hats have a lot to do with it because it's what they push. And out of all the different sectors of that particular music, because hip hop was more than it's talking about what's going on in the streets. Hip hop was is it's an art form, but they deliberately honed it to this gangster rap shit, you know. And instead of the different varieties that it once was, and people could, you know, do anything, and everybody wanted to be a goddamn gangster. Oh well, at that time a thug. It was a gangster first, and then a thug. And it's sad, like Jake was just put in a fucking box. Like you really, you was put in a fucking box, you know. So you take something that was so as an expression, and you fucking mutter it. You fucking muttered it out in the most degenerate form that there's possible of that particular thing was, and you put it up in the highest pedestal, right? So when the Lord gave us the law, statutes, and commandments, He gave us Him. You know, what did Jake do? They went after the other gods. They went doing what the other nations were doing. All right, and the other nations were defeated. The other nations, they gods didn't show nothing, and yet you still honing in and seeking that whole thug shit. That's a whole nother spirit. That's why I get upset every time people put that, you know, Tupac on a pedestal. It's like, if y'all know what really he have done to you, realistically, you would have been upset. And he was just fucking, he was confused. It was a confused, emotional ass nigga, you know. And he's what he, and then back then, tattoos for so-called black men was not a was that was a rarity. That was not a thing. That was not a thing for so-called blacks. All right, we didn't. That's certain cultures that we did not do, but he did it, and he put it on his stomach. And when this man died, instead of that was it, nah, they took that shit and they fucking spread it and helped destroy what already was weak, and that was quote unquote black culture. It was already weak, all right, it was already infiltrated, but that helped destroy it. So yeah, we done seen it all, we done heard it all, and it was like, yo, what the fuck? And then you became a degenerate. And look at the culture now. And back then, see, I gotta talk about back then, Salakia. But back then, that prison culture really infiltrated the music and the streets, and niggas was going back and forth out in the streets. Like if you didn't get locked up back then, you wasn't getting no play. That's how retarded our people become. It says, "I yet I planted thee a noble vine, holy right seed. How that turn into how that turn into the degenerate plant of a strange vine unto me. For though I wash thee with nitrate and take much soap, yet thy iniquity is marked before me, saith the Lord Yahweh." Iniquity is what? Sin upon sin. And the game back then and to this day is all about being the most rebellious, a rebel without a fucking cause. Ask the average Joe nigga why they rebelling for. Why? And they can't even explain it. They're just rebellion to rebel. Because the rebellion really goes back to they rebelling against the Most High. That's where the rebellion comes from. They're rebelling against the law, statutes, and commandments. So anything that happens unto niggas in these streets is well deserved. All right, it's well deserved. If a nigga want to be in the streets acting like he's this and that, and he get clapped up, hey, he was asking for it. You know, no sympathy, no nothing. This nigga game sat there talking about generals don't take off the uniform. I mean, nigga don't understand. Generals do fucking retire. You know what I'm saying? Generals do retire, but it's just an agenda. The agenda is to keep the madness going while they sacrifice you young men and women. They push that agenda. They did it in my age, they did it in my time. We for us to glorify them, it hasn't changed. You know, it hasn't changed. And why should it change? The fucking uh, um that shit is so overcoming. All right, even in the fact of the way it is today when it's all fagged out, and like yo, how is all fagged out when back then it was tough because them niggas were undercover faggots. All right, they were undercover faggots, man. So how can as I say I am not polluted? I have not gone after Balaam. See now when the way in the valley know what that has done. Well, that goes to something different because I know I want to go if I keep reading Isaiah. Since I said that 30:1, it says, "Woe to the rebellious children, saith the Lord, that take counsel, but not of me, and then cover with a covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin." And that's Jake. They just love adding sin to sin. All right. They always want to be a hard rock. They always want to do the most outlandish shit to prove themselves. I was watching early, it was a Sabbath. I was watching Animal, like just just a classic educational Animal Planet, and you understand the wilderness. You understand the wild. It may be considered to be wild, but you understand it's about survival, not survival to look good, not the survival to drive the most fanciest car, not survival to flaunt it on the next your neighbor. It was about survival. Animals don't kill. A predator don't kill just to kill. They don't do things like that. They do things because they need to eat. They need to survive. And Jake would take that whole concept, and add materialistic things to it, and show no mercy to their neighbors when we're supposed to be above that. All right. When the Lord, when the Lord is about to walk your ass down, He's about to do it harshly. You see what He did in Nepal. See what He's doing in Gary, Indiana. You see what He's doing down in the South. Niggas, that's just the tip of the iceberg. The Lord is about to enforce a wrath that have not seen in ages. All right, and all this rebellious spirit that Jake has. Oh, he's gonna meet. They're gonna meet their maker. All that tough talk, all that shit that niggas would talk. I don't fear no death. You about to fear death. You're about to fear. It says that walk to go down to Egypt. Today modern day Egypt is what? America. And have not asked at my mouth to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh, and trust in the shadow of the of Egypt. And out of all the offenses that Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans have done, you believe in the system. You cold-hearted believe in the system. You believe in the madness, the chaos that you find yourself in. Well, guess what? You're gonna die by it. It's not gonna be no glorious death. Niggas think because you seen Scarface, right? Niggas think that they see Scarface, they thinking that that's the most glorious way to die. Y'all niggas ain't gonna die in no glorious way. Y'all gonna die in the most harshest possible way. All right, and we don't even have to worry about that. Matter of fact, let me get this. Since I said that, oh, now it's time. Jeremiah 15. Yeah, man. Now this shit wanna act up. Jeremiah 15 and 2. And it shall come to pass, if they say unto thee, whither shall we go forth? Then shall thou tell them, thus saith the Lord, such are for death to death, and such are for the sword to the sword, and such are for famine to famine, and such are the captivity to the captivity. And I will appoint over them 4 kinds, saith the Lord, the sword to slay, the dogs to tear, and the fowls of heaven, and the beasts of the earth to devour and destroy. And I will cause them to be removed into all the kingdoms, which today the Lord is going to remove. Well, he's actually technically, yes. What am I saying? ICE is not even, a lot of Jake that getting caught up with ICE, they're not even going back to that country. They're going back to a strange country. So we in Jacob's trouble right now. We literally in Jacob's trouble. And you know what's funny? Ironically, funny about this shit. Now I'm thinking about this dumbass nigga game. Is L.A., Los Angeles has a way of really showing how much they love their own people. They don't. They don't love any. They don't love Jake, yo. That's when whatever punishments coming for that place is gonna be harsh. It's gonna be harsh, yo. And I'm like, wait a minute. Tupac dumbass decided to get involved in something that he shouldn't have gotten into. He got. But now you still gonna rep that shit. But that's the ignorance. And that's part of Esau pushing that agenda. And he's using these low level masons in the streets to maintain that chaos that's been brewing. Because in the hoods, it's nothing but fucking chaos. Nothing but chaos in the hood. All right. There can be no fucking peace in the hood. Some nigga or nigga bitch is gonna do something. So the Lord has a perfect way to clean it up. All right. It said, I'm going back to Isaiah 30:3. Therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion. So us trusting in the system is gonna be is a shame. All right. Ever so often, Jake cries for peace, but they never receive it. It's because you trust in this fucking system. Zechariah 13:8 says, and it shall come to pass that in all the land, saith the Lord, 2 parts thereon shall be cut off and die. 2/3 of the nation of Israel is destined to be destroyed. All right. How they go, that's not a concern. The Lord told Jeremiah how they're gonna go down. That's not a concern. All we know, they gotta go. That's the main cause. For these wannabe thugs up in the corners, you got these young niggas. They'll just shoot first, no even ask questions. Period. Walking around in ski masks in the fucking middle of the summer, wearing all fucking black because they deaf. And the funny, as much as you um love that culture, you want to strike fear. You in greater fear yourself. All right. There's a two-way street when it comes to that shit. Because you fear somebody's gonna take your life, but yet you go out there terrorizing people, and you're thinking that, you know, and it's all Esau fault because he pushed this culture, and Jake just eat it up. Going to jail was not supposed to be like you going to a fucking resort. Going to jail was like the last thing that you wanted to go to. But they made it in a way that going to jail it was normal. It was expected. It was like a rite of passage. What can the Lord do with a people like that who believes in this madness, who's repping other gods? All right, you can't even say that they believe in anything else. You know, so back in those days, back in the 80s and the 90s, it was like 5%ers and everything like that. But you can't even give them that, because these niggas they nothing but animals. These niggas don't believe in anything, so they gotta go, and they are gonna go. All right, they are gonna go. Hey, you never know, man. That nigga Gay might be the next former rapper that got taken out. The way he's talking, and he don't got a problem with that shit. And somebody, I read the comment board. Somebody said he probably don't teach his kids that shit, but they don't mind selling that shit to the niggas in the streets. So he's even worse. Just like MC8. MC8, he said the ill shit, because MC8, if you don't know who he is, he got played in Medicine Society. He's a rapper from the West Coast. He's alright, but you respect his realness. He's a real street dude. But he's not gonna promote. That's how niggas, we give him a pass because that's them, right? But he was breaking it down about Pac and how Pac went backwards. The great Tupac became a degenerate, and when he said, him and Ice-T said it, they're like, yo, majority of niggas in the hood, they wanted to get out and do what he did, but he went backwards. All right, he went backwards. Nobody wants us in the hood. If you from the hood, you do not want to. You don't want to be from the hood. Like you want to get out of the hood. That whole concept of I'm never leaving, that's bullshit. A real person from the hood, they'll leave in a heartbeat, because the air, the environment is no good. All right, you gotta watch everything and everyone, even your quote unquote loved ones, people that's laughing in front of your face, they could take you out. All right, it's not about strength, because you don't have nobody has strength. But in the way they said it, which was 100% true. All right, he went backwards. So it's just nothing but a backwards society, but it's a great equalizer for that backwards society. The backwards mindset that Jake has. All right, Ciroc 39 and 20, 26. My song, not 26, 28. There be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. In the time of destruction, they pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made them. So the Lord has death angels awaiting his commandment, especially now. This is we in we in a busy season right now. All right, we on a real heavy busy season of death. Judgment is coming down quicker. Anything that offends, the Lord is visiting everything. So the Lord just got to give the green light. Oh, this is the time for such and such. This is time for. How many celebs have done passed? All right. A lot of people, they find themselves in the other side right now. Okay, because the Lord He's collecting certain souls back up there. All right, and it says fire and hell and famine, death and all these are created for vengeance. This is the saying in the streets, bullets don't have no name. Nah, that's bullshit. Yeah, they don't, it doesn't say no names on it, but every shot, every move is strategically done by the Heavenly Father. All right, He's putting a hit out on everybody. If you ain't right now, He's putting a hit out on you. And the hit don't means you're gonna go to sleep and that's that. Nah, people are going out a damning way. All right, people are gonna start going out in a horrific way. And it says teeth of wild beasts, scorpions, serpents, and the sword punishing the wicked to destruction. And that's the wicked amongst the Lord's people as well. They shall rejoice at His commandment, and they shall be ready upon the earth when need is. So a lot of people have a demonic, a deaf spirit on them. A lot of them wear hoodies and they all black, all this. They don't even know what the fuck they're triggering. A lot of people have death all over them. They commit the murders and they themselves get got. All right, and they don't even know what the fuck they're doing. They just being possessed. There's a lot of people out there that's possessed. And when the person think that they're the ones that are the bad ones, or like they're the biggest ones in the block or whatever, there's somebody far worse and more scarier than that person. See, that's where the Lord shines. That's why the Lord shows great fear. A lot of these, they act like they don't fear nothing, but the Lord brings that fear. All right, and the Lord know how to get everybody. He know how to get person personally. You know, you know how to get somebody real personal. You know how to get to your soul. So fuck around and find out, which a lot of people will fuck around and find out. And it says, "It shall be ready upon the earth when need is, and when the time is come, they shall not transgress His word. Therefore, the beginning I was resolved and a thought upon these things, and have left them in writing. Oh, and all the works of the Lord are good, and He will give every needful thing in due season." All right. So the season is now. The season is now. Everything is out in the public. Meaning, whatever you doing in the dark is out in the public. And the Lord, the liberty did that so now the world could see. It says, Zephaniah 3:5, "The just Lord is in the midst thereof. He will not do iniquity. Every morning doth He bring His judgment to the light. He faileth not, but the unjust knoweth no shame." If you don't want death, don't promote death. Promote life. But majority of our people, all they care about is death. So you're gonna get what you ask for. It's that simple. Stay the fuck away from us. Ezekiel 9:4, it says, "And the Lord said unto him, Go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abomination that be done in the midst thereof." And that gang culture is an abomination. That shit is nothing but witchcraft. That's nothing but witchcraft. All right. From the dances, from the hand signals, what they represent, the blue, red, all those clowns. All right. Nothing but witchcraft. And then they always taking a drug. They have a spell on them. They got demons on them. So they're not sighing and crying They are part of the system. They are part of the problem. 2/3 of the nation of Israel is part of the problem. But those who sign and crying, those who see this shit, crying to the Lord, like, Lord, how long we gonna tolerate this shit? And then like, there's truth to what people say, that most of the time Jake is Jake that killed Jake, you know? And we know from the jump, that's part of the curses, and that's the environment that's cultivated by the man. But for you to sit there and act like you trying to still justify the shit, that means you're a part of the fucking problem. So you're not sighing or crying. You're part of the problem, and the Lord got judgment for that. All right. It says, and to the others he said in my hearing, go ye after him through the midst of the city, through the city, and smite. Let not your eye spare, neither have ye pity. So the death angels, they're not gonna have no pity on anyone. Once they get the order, that's it. Slay utterly old and young. So old niggas, old nigga women, all right, who did all their wickedness in their youth, from raping and robbing and stealing and selling drugs and representing other gods and you name it, being moles, turning out young men in the prison system. All that shit comes back, yo. You know, you may say, "Oh, I changed my ways," but you're still wicked motherfucker. You still got to pay for that shit. Lord's not letting nothing unturned, man. And young, why? Because those are the old souls that was doing wicked shit in the past. So the Lord came, they came back because there's reincarnation. All right. Hey, the same guy, like we don't, who knows what happened to these guys? Fucking Sakari and them, the Alizé, he went back into the world. All right. But when he formed that group Sakari, what did he say? He said he looked up the history. He said to the deacon, "Oh, we dumb niggas." Proving what? There's reincarnation. Now to all things, they go right back into their own fucking lot, being the pieces of shit that they are. Well, guess what? They're gonna be destroyed too. All right. Ain't nobody is gonna get exempt except for the elect. All right. The elect is the only ones that the Lord like. Nah, this is a good soul right here. But the rest of them, y'all want to live that certain type of lifestyle, y'all gonna get it. Y'all gonna get that lifestyle. You're gonna have your moment. You're gonna have your Scarface moment. But the results is gonna be just as dramatic as that was, and more far intense. All right, 2/3 of the niggas, yeah, they gotta fucking go, bro. Fucking niggas, man. It says slay utterly old and young, both maids and little children. So women got it. Women are gonna get it. Certain women are gonna get it. All right, they outside. Oh yeah, they're about to be outside. All right, they're gonna get it. And it says, and little children, but and women. So the Lord said twice, because this whole when you read the Apocrypha, what's this? First Ezra, the 4th chapter, and it speaks about all the things that is powerful in this world. And one of the men on that council basically said women, and tell you what men would do. All right, a lot of these men wanted to be gangsters to get the bitches, and women are natural degenerates because they always do what? They always pick the worst of the worst, the most easy acceptable dude out there, and have that man right under their finger, and they encourage that shit. Yeah, I will never forget that video. I'm going long, but it's a passionate. And it was a young bitch. I don't know who the fuck she was. She was born in the burbs, talking about you gotta be a thug, you gotta be from the hood or something like that. But she was born in. What the fuck you know about that? So women help encourage that madness. It's a lot that's going on, yo, and that's what this niggaism, this product that we see that everybody's trying to enforce and put out there, that shit is not coming to the kingdom. The nigga dies here. You're a product of this society. You help forward this madness. It all dies here. It says, but come not near any man upon whom is the mark, and begin at my sanctuary. Then they begin at the ancient men which were before the house. So with that being said, shalom to the elected nation of Israel. Shalom.